All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into some awesome bourbon barrel-aged beer, if you will. It is Naturally Upset, the big old bomber from Munster, Indiana, Dark Lord Day 2024. This is one of the rare / hard to get beers I got, one of 4, and Dark Lord aged for 2 years in single malt whiskey barrels, guys. 1011 out of 2000, that is this bottle specifically. And I did have to look it up, so it is from 2023, no longer in production. I believe it was only a one-time run, so we're going to investigate. And as a disclaimer, I was told by several people in Munster that day at Dark Lord Day that this was hit and miss. You know, there were some that were really good. Some people liked it a lot. Others did not like it at all. So today is just going to be a toss-up. I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what's going on here. It's a cool label. I'm actually probably clinically insane because there's nobody home. There's nobody to share this with. Yet here I am reviewing this for you guys because why not? YouTube, BeerTube, whatever. We're going to do it anyways. Usually I don't like cracking into these unless I have some friends or family to share it with. But I do have a much more rare Dark Lord variant that I will save for a rainy day, guys. The Chemtrail is what it's called. And we will review that when my brother-in-law is here. And I'll do that earlier that day so I can share it with him. So this one, I'm just going to go ahead and go on my own because I think he has a bottle of this. So I'm going to review it, put it on YouTube for you guys. And I've had several Dark Lord variants at this point in time, but most of them were at Dark Lord Day. So these older aged ones, obviously you won't see around too often. So again, another reason why I wanted to review it for you guys. So I have the little snifter, the 3 Floyd snifter that my brother-in-law Corey did buy for me. So what a guy, what a hell of a guy. And we've got that wax to clarify, this little teal blue wax, whatever you want to say. 2023 Naturally Upset. Let's get into it, see if I can get a clean crack through this thick wax, guys. It's going to be hard. I don't think I'm going to get this in one take. That is some thick wax. Brah. On the fly for you guys. Oh. Oh yeah. I got the last one so easy, but this one not so much. All right. Oh. Check that. I'm leaving that in there. You guys are watching this whole review. I don't even care. So that wax, it's like one of the thickest waxes I've ever seen in my life. And then underneath we do have that standard bourbon barrel aged. Yeah, that's the bottle cap, 3 Floyds. That's the one you see on other high gravity beers. Boom. Yeah, I'm leaving that in there. You guys can relax. You're gonna watch that. So let's get the pour. Again, the 2023 Naturally Upset. I don't know how I feel about malt whiskey barrels. For 2 years, I don't know how I feel about this. I think the ABV is still 15%, if I'm not mistaken. Shoot, maybe I should have looked that up. Let's go to the pour. Oh, that is motor oil, dude. That is frickin' motor oil. Oh my. Oh my. That is one of the thicker beers I've ever seen. As I was pouring it. Yeah, dude, there's nothing to say. That's darkness in a glass. Dark. Super dark brown beige head, burnt brown. Nice head retention considering it's 15% ballpark ABV, and it's hanging on. So I'm not quite sure what to expect. I think I'm insane for doing this. And even looking in the bottle, I can see the ring of where the liquid was filled up to. That's how thick this thing is. This is insane. I'm telling you guys, it's one of the thickest beers I've ever seen that I've poured into a glass. Let's get an aroma. What the hell's going on here? Smoky, dark fruity, still kind of soy saucy maybe? Salty, yeah, it's soy sauce, salty, soil. Touch of coffee. There's some sweetness, like there's a dark fruit for sure. Like there's this like plum raisin sweetness that's touching the soily kind of smokiness. It's smoky, it's soily, it's I don't know how to describe that. It almost smells sweet and salty. Again, I got that on the last one, that 2020 Dark Lord. I call that soy sauce because, yeah, a brewer told me that was degraded yeast. So Am I running into that again? I don't know. I don't know if that's just kind of how the Dark Lords are. I'm not an expert, guys. Don't ask me. If you have more info, leave it in the comment section below, because I'm not good enough to know that. I'm not a master brewer, but I've had people tell me those things. It smells sweet and tangy or something. There's something weird about this. I'm not sure how I feel about the smell, but Naturally Upset, guys. Dark Lord, let's go for it. Cheers, 3 Floyds. Oh. Oh. That is smoky. That's like super peaty. Like, there's almost like a sweet, sour saltiness to this beer. What in the world? It's like, it's woody, it's rich, it's like tangy. There's something weird. There's like a raisiny cherry plum, like, sweetness to this beer. I don't know what I feel about that, guys. It's gonna take me a couple sips to feel how I'm gonna actually feel for real here. It's super like soily, smoky, peaty. Yeah, I mean it tastes like a scotch in a way. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, the body's pretty creamy, actually. It's got like an oatmeal kind of smoothness to it, actually. I mean, if that counts for something good in the body department, it's very smooth. It's a thick, oily monstrosity, though. I will say this is a dense ass beer. One of the most peculiar tasting Russian Imperial Stouts aged in malt whiskey. I'm not a whiskey guy per se, but it's very peaty. It's just, it's salty oil. Like, these are terrible descriptors. I'm just trying to tell you guys how I feel about this, and those are the words I'm reaching for. It's tangy, it's salty, it's soily, it's kind of rich, and there's like this weird sweetness, again, raisin, plum, cherry, and then the peaty, smoky tobacco back end is weird. And I don't know if that's just how this is with that malt whiskey. It's so weird. There is a weird tanginess to this beer that I just cannot understand. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way, and maybe this is why the mixed reviews that were far and many in between. They're not far and few. They're far and many. They're close and many. I heard so many guys that day say that they just weren't a fan of this one, and maybe I had that bias going into this, but I had a couple people say they really liked it. I think I'm more on the this is not for me group. It's got this just strange, weird, yeasty tanginess that I don't know how I feel about it, guys. I don't know if that's proper. But again, there's this some sort of dark cherry raisin tanginess, and it's like kind of sweet. And again, I get that like weird soy sauce saltiness, and it's slick and it's oily. So it's got the body thicker than soy sauce, but it has that reminiscent taste of it. If I'm doing descriptors today, it's just a weird flavor. And then you add the smoky, peaty, soily earthiness into the beer, and it gets even stranger. Like, I will say, this is one of the most peculiar beers I've ever reviewed on this channel. There is no doubt in my mind. In the unique, crazy category, yeah, this one, 3 Floyds, Naturally Upset, Dark Lord variant. I don't know how to feel. Like, I like it and I appreciate it, but yeah, it's peaty, it's weird. It's just weird, and I don't know that I could drink a bunch of this, and that upsets me. Because, of course, this wasn't a cheap bottle, and now I have nobody to share it with. But maybe I'll let this sit in my fridge for a little bit and let it aerate. But guys, I don't even know how to rate this thing. It's crazy. It's almost too crazy for me. So if I'm giving this an honest review, and it's no hit on 3 Floyds, it's just, this is not for me, man. The peatiness, the scotchy whiskey thing is weird. This tangy, fruity thing hidden underneath the Dark Lord base is weird. I like the body. I like the oily creaminess. But damn, is it a thick beer too. Just not for me. So one final sip. Just don't like that back end. I just don't like the back end. That tangy, salty, weird thing. Sweetness. peat, smoke, tobacco, earth. Pains me. 3.25 out of 5. Like, this just isn't up my alley, guys. Someone might appreciate this. I don't know if it should be like this. Maybe it's not proper. Maybe something did happen. Maybe I just don't like scotch and whiskey, because I will say, hey, I'll raise my hand right now, I don't like those very much. But put that weirdness and peatiness and sweetness and tanginess that this has into the Dark Lord base, and you've got some weirdness through a palate roller coaster here, and it's just not for me. So no dig at 3 Floyds, because I spent some good money on this, but it pains me to say 3.25 out of 5, because I just don't think this flows well. So guys, naturally upset. I can see maybe that's why they called it that. I am naturally upset right now. So low-key, shout out to 3 Floyds. They're still great, but this one just missing the mark completely for me. So 3.25 out of 5, guys. Till next time, cheers, pros, yamas. Drink good beer.